AI will be able to deliver more data. They'll be able to deliver that data faster.
Well, that by definition means 50% of the people are less intelligent than AI.
This is the last defense against AI coming for a lot of jobs in a lot of industries. But it's going to be critical to start doing something now. Is number one, Hi, everybody. My name is James Becker, and I am the founder and CEO of Fusion Growth Partners. One of the reasons why you might listen to what it is that I'm having to say and to consider some of the thoughts is because I have built from scratch one of the largest mega organizations or teams in the country. We currently have close to 850 top real estate agents that work and partner with my organization, and I have over 300 employees that support these agents. Last year, our agents sold over $6 billion in real estate, producing well over $150 million in gross commissions earned. I hope you find what I'm sharing interesting, insightful, and helpful for your business. Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I have what I believe is really important set of messages that I'm hoping that everybody takes very seriously today as we move forward. To give you a little bit of context, we're going to be talking about AI, and we're going to be talking about what the experts are predicting in the future, what I'm seeing potentially in the future. I want to share with you that I have been following artificial intelligence very closely for the last few years. When ChatGPT came out, I started using it right away, and I probably listened to, on average, 6 to 10 hours of discussion with experts over the last 2 years on a weekly basis. Something that's really important for me to do is to really stay as the leader of the organization on the cutting edge of what's happening so that I can make plans for the next years coming to see what is happening. There is very serious to our business and to what it is that we're doing. And there are a few options. And I have thought very, very deeply about this. And I'm not trying to be doomsday because I think that there is answers to this. But it is stuff that we have to prepare for and to start working for in a real way. There is room for optimism if you're moving in that direction. We need to really take a look at the seriousness of what's going on, and I've avoided having this conversation for a little bit. I think it's important, and as your partner, I have ways that I think could be very helpful. So that's the precursor to the conversation. I'm going to go through what it is that we're doing, and if we have time after the fact, we will open it up for questions. The first thing that I want to say here is the title of my talk is to make friends and serve people. And you'll see as I come through my discussion here why I really believe this is the last defense against AI coming for a lot of jobs in a lot of industries. AI, it's not as noticeable now, but it is happening on many levels, but it is going to disrupt our world in a very big way at levels that none of us have ever seen before. I'm going to get into some of the seriousness of this in a moment, but it's going to happen much faster than most of us realize. To me, it's going to feel like it's slowly, and then all of a sudden, it's going to be significant when there are some things that are painful. Its capacity grows by bounds every day. We've seen this for the 2 years that I've been watching it. in different podcasts. Every week they're talking about what new version has come out from these different providers. And I use 3 or 4 of them myself, and it's very interesting that, one will be ahead of the other, and then the other one gets better, and it's kind of a horse race on how they move forward. But here is the progress of AI. So ChatGPT came out in 2020. GPT-3 came out in 2020. ChatGPT, where most people started to use it in 2022, reached 100 million users in just 2 months, and was the fastest adoption of any tech product in history. In 2023, the enhanced reasoning capabilities started passing tests like the bar exam and medical exams. ChatGPT-4 reduced costs dramatically, became then 20 times less expensive. So think about this. It's doing it, and then they were able to improve it so that it was 20 times less expensive. There is massive investment into ChatGPT. By the end of this year, there will be over $300 billion that are invested into it. And the acceleration of AI is happening at an unprecedented rate. There's a lot of improvement on video. Most of you guys have seen that. And right now, we already see in San Francisco, in Las Vegas, and a few other places, they have these autonomous vehicles that have no drivers in them. Waymo is already eating into the Uber drivers' market share in those areas that they are located. The realities are, if we don't realize it yet or not, but we are all in a race against AI. That is the reality of the situation. AI will be able to deliver more data than you will be able to. It'll be able to deliver that data faster. It'll be more available than we will. It will be able to analyze that data and give you options. Here's the predictions on job loss. The World Economic Forum estimates 83 million jobs lost by 2027. I just want that to sink in for a minute. This is really significant. Goldman Sachs, this is a report about 18 months ago, reported that 300 million jobs worldwide would experience significant disruption. Now, creative and strategic roles will be less affected, 10 to 15%, because it complements some of those things. And I know for me in my business planning, in the research, I'm able to gather a lot of information and a lot of data, which allows me to make decisions faster than I would be able to. And so that has been helpful. Healthcare will have a minimum displacement, and skilled trades, which is important. I want you to set that aside. Skilled trades, construction, plumbing, HVAC, will affect this much later down the road, but it will be affected. The areas that are most at risk are the administrative roles, 40 to 60% reduction, not all of them. Customer service, 30 to 50%. We already see that in a lot of places, slowly but surely. Entry-level accounting and bookkeeping will be dramatically replaced. Retail sales, significant drops there. The industries that will be less impacted, according to the research that I've done, is the creative strategic roles, again, healthcare and skilled trades. Now, the World Economic Forum predicts that there'll be approximately 69 million new jobs globally by 2027 with AI-driven opportunities. This is the good news. They believe that there'll be new roles, including AI specialists, prompt engineers, AI ethic advisors, integration managers, and data analysts. I can tell you that We have been on a mission since December to try to automate a lot of the work that we have in, and we have spent a ton of money to do that. And there is very little that we have actually finished automating. It is much more difficult right now, but each week and each month, there are things that come up that allow us to do things a little bit better. The economic and social impact will increase productivity. I've certainly experienced that myself, but it's going to increase our competitors' efficiency and productivity as well. This is ChatGPT's analysis, which I think is potentially light, is approximately 25 to 35% of the roles across the global workforce will experience significant disruption by 2030, which, by the way, is less than 5 years. It's a nuts number. I don't know if anyone watches the Diary of a CEO, but I've taken some clips. This is one of the most recent podcasts. It was about 3 hours. I pulled out a couple of things that I thought was interesting and important.
Even if it didn't do that, even if it just stayed within the boundaries that you're talking about, you mentioned about it having median level intelligence. Well, that by definition means 50% of the people on the planet are less intelligent than AI. To a degree, it's almost as if we've just invented a new continent of remote workers. There's billions of them. They've all got a master's or a PhD. They all speak all the languages. Anything that you could call someone or ask someone over the internet to do, they're there 24/7 and they're 25 cents an hour, if that. So like, if that really happened, like if we really did just discover that there were a billion extra people on the planet who all had PhDs and were happy to work for almost free, that would have a massive disruptive impact on society. Like society would have to rethink how everyone lives and works and gets meaning. And that's if it just stays at a median level of intelligence. Like it's pretty profound.
He says, I want you to imagine that we just discovered a new continent. And there's 1 billion people on there that all have master's degrees and PhD degrees, and they're willing to work for 25 cents an hour. And that's going to have a massive impact. You have these machines that are multiplying, but they talk about it's a new species that can create its own language. It can do all kinds of things. It's out of the bag. So Sam Altman is one of the co-founders of OpenAI, was a nonprofit, then turned to a profit. Sam Altman worries me to a certain extent. He was terminated from his role by the board and then was brought back. But this is a video that he's talking about robots coming. And when people experience this visceral-like reaction, and the interviewer says, well, what happens when the robots come? And I want you to just watch his reaction here for a second, because it pulled me back a little bit, and it's very subtle, but he kind of bites his lip and then doesn't really answer the question. He says it's going to feel very sci-fi. She was asking more along the lines like, what's going to happen? I thought this was really interesting. So let's take a look.
The thing I think the world is not ready for, like people have maybe abstractly thought like, okay, it's going to be a better programmer than me. It's going to be, better at customer support and whatever. I don't think the world has really had the humanoid robots moment yet. And I don't think that's very far away from like a visceral, like, oh man, this is going to do a lot of things that people used to do. So yeah, it's coming. And we have always tried to just be super honest about what we think the impact may be, realizing that we'll be wrong on a lot of details.
What happens when the humanoid robots get here?
They'll obviously do a lot of jobs, but the point I was trying to make is I think like the first day you're like walking down the street and there's like 7 robots that walk past you doing things or whatever, it's going to feel very sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys catch that? So this is the point. This is the direction. So when I'm looking at these issues and I'm saying, what is Fusion going to be? What is the opportunity for income? What's going to be the opportunity for my partners? What are they going to be able to do? How do we defend ourselves against these things that could work for 25 cents an hour. So what is left for humans if AI has a level of intelligence of someone with a PhD? They can draw better than we can. They can write better than us. It's smarter than us. It's quicker than us. It can pull data faster and do the analysis and come to the conclusions. And it's willing to work for basically free. I want you to carefully listen to this, because this is what I have been thinking for about 5 or 6 months. And when I listened to this, it kind of confirmed my position and what it allows us to lean into as people who provide value to others. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Here we go.
Then what does become?
We only have one thing left. We have our muscles, which we got rid of in the Industrial Revolution. And then we have our intellect, which is this digital revolution. Now we're left with emotions and agency. So we essentially, the agency idea, I think we used to judge people on IQ, and now IQ is the big leveler. And now going forward for the next 10 years, we're going to look at, are you a high agency person or a low agency person? Do you have the ability to get things done and coordinate agents? Do you have the ability to start businesses or give orders to digital armies? And essentially these high agency people are going to thrive in this new world because they have this other thing that's been bubbling under the surface, which is
Really interesting.
Okay, the key part of that, what's left to defend our businesses, and it's not today, it's not tomorrow, but it's 2-3 years out from now, and I want us to be prepared for it. What's left to defend our business with is that we actually have emotions, that we are actually human. We have a conscience, and we have the true ability to provide agency. Now, this is very important because I'm going to dive into a couple of things. So what is agency? Well, an agent is an extension of a principal, acting as if they were the principal themselves. They are fighting for that person. Ethical behavior and trustworthiness are foundational, and violating trust can significantly harm the principal and end that relationship. So in essence, being someone's agent means stepping into their shoes and navigating situations with care, skill, loyalty, always aiming to do the best they can. So being someone's agents mean you have been entrusted with the responsibility and the authority, and it extends beyond just legal and contractual context. It involves trust and loyalty. So can AI provide true agency? This is a real deep philosophical question. Now, I have a video out. I don't know if you guys are seeing the videos that we're doing, but in a previous group coaching call that we had, I said that AI is like a psychopath, and we're going to talk about that right now. They can show emotions. If you have someone reading text like on Word, they can show emotions. They can have that language. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of people answering the call and them sounding like they're empathetic, them sounding like they care, which is pretty amazing. But the reality is, as humans, we know that they do not have emotions. Computers do not have emotions. They can only act like they have emotions. And this is a critical piece of where we're going and what a lot of experts believe is going to happen. So what does that mean for agency? Key characteristics of a psychopath, by the way, is someone who lacks empathy. They have shallow emotions. They can be manipulative and deceitful. We've seen what the algorithms have done in the past. There's a lack of remorse or guilt. A computer can't have any guilt, can't have any remorse if they do something wrong. And it can have superficial charm and charisma. So does that sound like AI to you? It has all of those characteristics. So is human emotions critical to true agency? True emotions, connections, and relationships will be likely the last stand against AI for most good agents because they are fundamentally critical to true agencies. Authentic, ethical, effective agency relies on the emotional capabilities of actually caring about somebody. This is why we talk about this make friends, serve people thing. People want to know that they actually have someone that is caring about them. And emotions, can you imagine having a relationship with someone where there are no emotions? It's not going to be much of a relationship. Empathy and connection requires understanding of others deeply, not just data. Empathy allows agents to genuinely feel and comprehend the principles, needs, current concerns, and well-being. Without emotional empathy, agents become mechanical. That's what the computers already are. Emotions guide ethical decision-making. A sense of guilt or remorse or pride or compassion, that's what drives us as humans. What drives a computer is just the training that they're getting. And we're not doing that training, are we? Do we know who is doing the training? Again, I know I'm kind of hitting on this a lot, but I think it's super important. Without genuine emotions, I want you to imagine there is a continent of 1 billion people who can do all the data stuff, but they cannot have emotions. So here's the supporting data on this. Harvard Business Review, emotional intelligence correlated 90% plus with professional effectiveness. That's critical. Kinsey did a study in 2023 on empathy. Empathetic interactions increase customer loyalty by over 60%. And Gallup did something on emotional intelligence back in 21 to 23. And emotionally engaged agents or leaders had higher client trust, reducing conflict. So the human conscious is the internal moral compass that it's more important that we know. For example, with my employees that I know closely, and I see a couple of them here, Sarah, I know that she has a high moral standard that she goes by, that she cannot compromise because of her conscience. Andrea Metza, the same thing. Teresa, the same thing. Dan Johnson, the same thing. That they are there. And I trust these people explicitly that they are going to do the right thing. And that trust, as we move out into the future, is going to be something that you can harness in significant ways. Long-term relationships, and the people that I mentioned, all of these people I have long-term relationships with. And they have demonstrated honesty and transparency over and over and over again. And this is where trust comes into play. But what is necessary for business survival, and I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 years out, but it's going to be critical to start doing something now, is number one, build a brand of trust and agency. This is critical. There are people that we have here in our group that have built that at a very high level. Michael Triglia has done that. Paige has done that. Mary Kay Beckman has done that. They have in their sphere of influence, people trust them. Arnold Hickley has done that over and over and over again. This is the brand of these individuals, most of the people that we have. It's not just a branding game. It is a process that we have to practice it because relationships is what we're going to have left. And that's a lot. This is the good news. That is a lot. But this is what we need to make sure that we're hitting on. And again, it goes back to what we've trademarked, which is make friends and serve people. Okay, Let's listen in on this gentleman here.
Speaking of adaptive systems, the one of the adaptation that will happen is people will seek humans and will seek proof of humanity.
Oh, I agree that authenticity is going to become the coin of the realm, and anything that can be faked or cheated is going to be devalued, and things, spontaneous jazz or, comedy that is interactive enough that it couldn't possibly have been generated with the aid of AI. Those things are going to become prioritized.
Authenticity, relationships, things that are real will become prioritized. So I want you to think about this. Marketers, there's 1 billion marketers now on this new continent. You guys understand what I'm saying? There'll be so much marketing that will be coming at us. It will be overwhelming, and we're not going to know if it's real people or not. So something that we can prove is real will become prioritized. I want to tell you, we are in a much better place than most people in their careers, because this is going to matter. The brand of trust is going to matter. The realness is going to matter. I saw this video and I saved it about 6 months ago, and I think it is right on.
What do you believe that other people find strange or strongly disagree with?
I think that the rise of AI is going to result in in-person sales way more. And I've said this to a few people, and they're like, what are you talking about? It's all going to go to AI. But I'm like, well, if everyone can do it, people will not listen or read any emails or anything like that. They just stop, because if it's all generated, it means every email they get is amazing. They just won't believe any of it unless somebody looks them in the eye and says, I'm a real person. This is why this is true. Yeah, I think we're going to see an increase in that in-person stuff.
I'm going to play that one more time. Could you guys hear that okay? I'm going to play it one more time because I really want this to sink in.
What do you believe that other people find strange or strongly disagree with?
I think that the rise of AI is going to result in in-person sales way more. And I've said this to a few people, and they're like, what are you talking about? It's all going to go to AI. But I'm like, well, if everyone can do it, people will not listen or read any emails or anything like that. They just stop, because if it's all generated, it means every email they get is amazing. They just won't believe any of it unless somebody looks them in the eye and says, I'm a real person. This is why this is true. Yeah, I think we're going to see an increase in that in-person stuff.
If we have 1 billion people who are cold calling and following up and sending emails and writing emails, because the computers are going to be able to do that in 5 years, it will be way too much, and nobody will pay any attention to it unless it is real. We can really lean into this. How long does it take to build deep trust? When we talk with people, we tell them, look, when you come in here, we're not looking to improve your business in a year. It happens, but I'm looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 years out, because it takes time to build those relationships between what we're doing. Genuine, deep-rooted professional trust usually matures around 2 to 3 years. This is what has been studied. The Pew Research notes that long-term trust is significantly stronger at least 1 to 2 years. How many people think that more people will distrust more in the future? I think that's 100%. We're already at this place where we don't believe anybody. We don't trust anything that we see in the internet or on the news. We're looking at everybody's agenda. Where are we going to trust? And the only place that I have 100% trust is with the people that are in my circle, that I have relationships with, that have demonstrated true agency. Like Margie Nixon, she has an amazing business, but she focuses on taking care of people. She doesn't even look at commission checks. I did a wonderful interview with her. It's on my YouTube page, but she absolutely cares for people, and this is why they come to her, because they know they are going to be taken really well cared for. And that has been demonstrated over years, not weeks. This is why I'm always saying the short term doesn't matter. It is the long term. This is why we have to start right now. We have to lean into this. at a much higher level. It is critically important. Things that accelerate trust building is empathy and emotional intelligence, transparency, honesty, reliability, consistency, clear and frequent and open communication. By the way, that's advertising. This is why I want you guys to advertise, because that is demonstrating communication and consistency. And it takes years for that to show up and to be realized on a subconscious level, demonstrating genuine interest and care. If you're talking to a computer and the computer's super nice, do you think that it actually cares about you? The nicest computer in the world, do you think it cares about you? No, you do not. You know it doesn't. We are biological creatures. This is going to matter. Things that decelerate trust building is inconsistent behavior, perceived self-interest or manipulation, dishonesty, broken promises, missed expectations, emotional detachment. That's a computer, sorry. On the internet, real estate agents are sold more stuff than anybody else in the world. And there's all these coaches and gurus out there that are showing you how to run scripts and dialogues and what to say to get people to do something. Does that sound like manipulation to you? Our business in the future can never be about sales tactics again. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Trust is the currency. We must, if we're going to thrive, we must be like Margie or Mary Kay Beckman, where we actually give a damn about people, not the commission checks. And we all know, we see the industry. The industry is filled with people that don't care. They're just trying to get a commission. And our world teaches us how to sell them versus how do you bring value to them? How do you increase the value that you bring? Because once you do that, you don't have to be a salesperson. You can just say, let me show you what I do. Let me just tell you what I do. That's it. And if that value is much better than what other people provide, you're going to have a shot at getting that business. But it has to be real value, not this stuff that we see on these internets with these guru guys. Here's the paradox about trust. It's fragile. It can take months and years to build it, but it can be damaged in an instant. So if we are going to defend our businesses, then we defend ourselves and our families. But how? What's the linchpin? And this is the linchpin. If there's tons of marketers out there, and this is a conclusion that I came to about 6 weeks ago, and it just so happened that this gentleman said it in a different way, but this is why the work must happen now. So just to give you context, they're talking about ideas and computers stealing the ideas. He's saying the moat, and what a moat is, by the way, is the canal around the castle that protects it. There's business moats that makes it difficult for people to break into that business. And a lot of the software companies aren't going to have that because we're going to be able to say, hey, guess what? In this software, we want you to write this program that does this. And there's going to be less of that. So what is the moat? And this is his answer.
I think that we with this an introduction of AI and AI agents, old value has moved. And now it's not going to be the case that the idea itself is the moat. And it's not going to be the case that resources are the moat. So in such a scenario, you still have to figure out distribution. You still have to have, for example, like an audience. So if you're a podcaster now, you have 1 million followers on Twitter, you're in a prime position because you now have something that the great guy with a great idea with no audience has. You have inbuilt distribution. So I now think actually much of the game might be moving to like, yeah, still about taste and idea, but also The moat is distribution.
Okay, this is a critical piece. If you have a group of people that see you as an advisor and you have a brand of trust, this is a distribution. So if there is an AI robot that can do roofs, let's say, they still have to get someone to buy that service. Is that correct? Where are they going to buy? There's going to be so much more noise that is out there. But a connection with a valued person where someone goes to Brandon because they trust him and he says, yes, I know this company's good. They're going to feel a lot better than that than they are about 5 stars on Google. Would you agree with that? Way more, because trust is the currency. Trust is the currency. We have something much better. We have our SOI. And again, this is why I say this, we have hundreds of agents and we have people that follow our thing 100%. We have some that halfway follow it and some that don't follow it at all. And it drives me crazy because I know that those people that aren't doing the work to follow it, to make more friends and serve people, that they are hurting themselves. There is no better way to go about this, particularly with what is happening in the world today. Because trust is the currency. Love is the currency when we're loving on our clients, like Margie Nixon does. If you follow it, you will have hundreds of relationships over time. Remember, I just said it takes time to build this trust, and your relationships will be real and they'll be authentic. I want to just mention something about Zillow. Right now, Zillow has a market share of people going out and starting their processes. And because of that, Zillow then turns over to real estate agents that are sales agents. All of their flex people are practicing scripts all day long because they have to convert. Do you understand? Do you want to deal with the flex agent that has to convert, or they lose their flex account, by the way? Did you know that? If you don't convert, you lose your dinner. And so they have, the team members have them practicing how to get people to buy. And I see these people teaching people how to buy. We want to encourage them to do what's best for them and to be able to give them the ups and downs and for them to make a decision that's best for them. We don't know what's best for them because they're individuals, but we have an idea and we can give data with trust because we give a damn. But why do so many people go to Zillow? And again, I'm going to go back to this business thing because we have so many people who are not willing to play the long game. They're not willing to invest. And that harms and hurts you. Right now, Zillow lost money for years and years, just like Amazon did, just like all of these big companies did. And right now, Zillow is worth $24 billion because they played a sophisticated business game. But we can beat Zillow in our niche market, in our group. Because why? Because our currency is trust, and our trust with our people is higher than Zillow's. So the resources you can garner in this new world is SOI at scale, not 250. We have people that have been with us 3 years. They still have 225 people. The world's changing. Your family matters. We need to go out and make friends and serve people and build our relationships. Our network is our net worth, and it will be even more valuable as we go. We must have a brand of trust. We're going to be real people. That is going to have tremendous value. And you have us. And that's going to matter. So how do you monetize all of this? How do you figure out how to make money? This is where people are when they come to us. They don't typically have systems or procedures or processes, and they're not executing on a high level. And we want to take them over here. FGP Home Services, this is important. We introduced it about a year ago, and we have been experimenting with it, and we have learned a lot. And we are relaunching it in a significant way in July. On the West Coast, we're opening up in a number of markets, and I'm going to be out there the end of June and the beginning of July. I'm going to come have lunches. And when I'm in your town, I really would appreciate it if you would all come and meet with me and talk with me so that we can talk about this. But I want you to think about this. Now, this is, again, a very important thing. Neil, this is Neil. He is someone who's in your database. You have an opportunity to have a transaction with Neil, 1 to 2 every 10 years. Okay? And so what happens is agents, they don't want to pursue the long game for people because they don't necessarily make the money. But we have an opportunity with Neil when he sells his house and when he wants to buy another one. But if you're implementing, and you don't have to, but I'm going to really encourage you to do it, that when Neil wants to remodel his kitchen, there's an opportunity to monetize and be an agent for them. When he needs a new roof, when he wants to paint his house, when he wants to put on an addition or an ADU, when he needs pest control or a pool service or water systems, when he needs pressure cleaning or to put up Christmas lights. We're all getting older. People want Christmas lights, moving company, and all of this can be within this opportunity. So the issue is to build relationships, to get out there, to get involved, join a kickball team, join a pickleball team, go to church or the synagogue or the mosque, whatever, get involved with nonprofit organizations. We want you to have 1,000 Neils. If you have 1,000 Neils, eventually you will be in a position, most likely, that this new world, you are going to be helping people at a high, high level. I don't know what the value is going to be or what commissions are going to be or what AI is going to do that, but you will be the center for these people. People who are needing to provide services to these people, you will be the gateway to them. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? But this takes building of it. So 1,000 Neils times all those opportunities, you will be busy. This is the solution. And the home services is a way to build that sphere of influence at a significant level, because now you have so much more to talk to them about. You have more interaction. If you don't like people and you don't like talking to people, this is going to be a bad business for you. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to need to be here to help. I want to tell you all, I am 100% committed to you guys. 100%. You, my partners, and you, my employees. What we do here at Fusions matters to me on a very deep emotional level. I'm proud of what we do, and if we make a mistake, I swear I feel like someone punched me in the gut. And when you have almost 900 partners, there's opportunity for a lot of punches in the gut. My impact, whatever that is, in the small circles that I have, matters a lot. And so I want to let you know that I am committed, absolutely committed, to continue to bring you the very best that I can, and to never stop trying to improve myself, to improve my staff, which they're all getting better, to improve our products, our coaching and the value that we bring you. You will start seeing daily videos coming out from me, just words of thoughts and information on services that we have, because there's a lot that you guys are not participating in, and we want you engaged as much as possible. That is my message today. It's not a doomsday message. There is some scary stuff out there, but we can lean in to the currency of trust and love of our people. We can do a lot of good for ourselves and for our family and for our clients. That's my message for today. I really appreciate you guys being here.